Guys, welcome back. This is the last part of our course or tutorial, whatever you can call it. And in this video, we'll be learning how to implement user password functionality. So we'll be using Pickle and we're creating a class called users. So let's get started. So we'll have a new file called users.py. And inside users, I'll import datetime. From datetime, import datetime, and I'll create a class called users and I'll initiate it with the arguments username and password, and I'll say self.username equal to username and self.password equal to password, and we'll create a new variable called self.joined, basically at what time the user was created this. So we'll say self.joined, we'll say datetime.now. So as I said, that's basically for our users.py. Now in server.py we'll be importing Pickle. This basically because we just want to create the user object once. Basically, if I'm a new user, I just want my user account to be created once. I don't want to recreate it every time the server has shut down or server was restarted. That should not happen. So that's what we are doing. So basically we are importing Pickle. We will use Pickle to store our user object, and we will import from users our user class. So from users import users. Now basically now we will go to clients.py, and this is where we'll get started. So I'll cut the username from the very beginning, and this is where our functions will start. So first we will ask for a username, and what we are going to do now is we are going to send this username to our server side. In the server side, they will check if the username exists, and then if it exists, it will return the password of the user who is logging with the username. If it does not exist, it will return false. Now, if false, we will try telling them. We'll tell the user to create a new account. Blah blah blah. If true, that is if. Else, if false, otherwise else. So else, we'll ask the user to input the password, and we'll check the result, whatever the result for this is. So I'll just send message username, and I'll receive a result, that is user result, and that is client dot receive. I'll take it with 2048 again and decode it in enough format. So the user result, if it is false, we will try to create a new account, and it will be either false or the password. So if it is password, so we will say if user result equal to false, then create account, and else we'll check if I will ask the user to enter a password and check it with the user result. So we'll ask user password. So password is equal to input, enter password, and we'll check it with our user result. So user result equal to password, and then the condition. So we'll just write our false case if this account was not found. Then we will tell the user in let's say red color. So okay, red user account with, I will do it in a string. So username was not found. And I'll close this and see. and we'll tell the user to create an account. So in yellow, so okay, yellow, creating new account with above username, and see, we want this bold, so okay, my bad, bold. Now we'll ask the user to enter a password, and then we'll send the password. So password input green color, so okay, green, enter new password, and see. Now what we are going to do is basically we are going to send this password to our server, but there's a catch. We can't directly send the password because we can't check two things at a time. So we'll be sending the username and password together. So we'll take in the username, we'll take in the password, then we'll check. So I'll add username to our password. So username plus, if you guys remember, this is how we are splitting it in our server side, and password. Now I'll send the message, send message, our password. Okay, so now we send the password, and then we are expecting a result. So result is equal to client dot receive 2048 dot decode and format. And if true, this time we will expect the result to have either two cases, true or false. If true, we will say user has been added successfully, and we'll tell the user to restart the program, and then we will disconnect from the server. If false, we will say user, okay, I'll just say if result equal to true, print in green, user has been successfully added, and it, and okay, yellow, restart program. And we'll send the message, we'll send the disconnect message to disconnect from the server side. So disconnect message. Else we'll say print in view, this will be red. We'll say unable to add user, please try again later, dot dot dot, and we'll send the disconnect message again, disconnect message. So that part is done. Now basically we are checking for second part. So we'll say if user result equal to password, then we'll print logged into the server, and this entire function under F, and this would be in OK blue. Okay, okay, it will be NC. So that's basically it for this part. And under before client main, before calling client main, we will send a message to the other users that username has joined. So send message has joined. server. So if you remember, it will be in the messages receiving part, it says username, then the message. So this time it will be username, message will be has joined server. It will be printed once. Now if the password is wrong, then we will say else. We will say print in red. So okay, red, wrong password, and see. And here also we will have to send the message to disconnect from the server. So disconnect message has been sent. Now I guess that's it for our client side. Now let's move on to our server side. So in server side, we imported pickle, we imported users. So now we'll create two functions. One is to check user. We'll define the function later. Check user is to check if username this user exists. So I'll pass. The next function is to add user, and we'll be passing in a class object. So only one variable is needed. And again pass. So these are the two functions we'll be using, and we'll be handling all this inside our incoming client. So basically here is where we will handle messages. Now the condition is if the second message, if you remember in clients.py, I said we will be sending user name as the message. So here it is, send message username. So here the message will be also the username. So if such a condition occurs, then it is saying the user is trying to log in. So if username equal to msg, else this part. Now if username equal to msg, then we will say there's another condition, that is we are sending the password also. Basically that means we'll have the list as list containing 3 elements. So you will say if length of msg list equal to 3, that means we are getting the password also. So we will take in our username and password as msg list of 1. As I said, it will be username, password. Since we are adding, if you remember in clients.py, where it was, okay. So here we are saying username and password. Here also we are saying username and message. So message is username and password. So we have username, and password. So msg list 1, msg list 2. So we got our username and password. Now we will create a class object since this is a new user. So we will say users, we will pass in our username and our password, and then we will send this to our add user function, new user. So we are using pickle to store the data. Now we will get a result, and it will say either true or false. That means either successful or not successful. So if result equal to if result, that means if true, that means if the new user was added, we'll return a message using con.send. We will send the message saying true, and we will encode it, of course. Dot encode and format. Else con.send false, again encode it and format. So that's it. So that's basically our username creation part. Then there is the second part, that is if the user is trying to log in. So we will say user is equal to check username. So we are trying to check for this username. Now if we will get either the class object back if there is a username, or we'll get false. So if user, that means if you got object, we will say password is equal to user dot password. Since it's a class object, this is how we reference the password, and we'll send this password to our client. So password dot encode and format. So we are sending it in. We are sending a password. Else we'll send false. Con dot send false dot encode it in format. So we are sending false. Now what we are going to trying to do, so this part is done. Now there's just small two functions to define, that is check user and add user. Okay, sorry for that. So we were creating our user. So basically what we are trying to do is we are going to check if a file exists, or if our pickle file exists. So we will do try, and we will say a file name, that is what we want to check. So file name will be username plus .pkl, and we'll say we'll open it. So with open file name, and we are reading bytes, so it is RB reading bytes. As we'll open it as an user file, and what we are going to do is we are going to load all those data that is saved in that file. So how we are going to load is we are going to use pickle.load. So pickle, so for that, so pickle.load and load user file. So we'll get our class, then we will return user. Else, that is if file is not found. So except file not found error. So if file is not found, we will return false. So return false. Okay, that works. So except file not found error, then return false. Now for a user, we are gonna say we are gonna call the file name as, since this is a class object, we can reference username. So username plus dot pkl. So we are going to save it as a pkl file. Same here again, we'll try with open file name and write it as bytes, and I'll call it a user file again. So inside this user file we are gonna dump the data. So pickle dump, pickle dot dump, and this takes in three parameters: what to dump, which file to dump, and the protocol. So we are dumping user, we are dumping in the file user file, and the protocol we are going to use is its highest protocol. So pickle dot highest HIGHES underscore protocol. So we have that. Then we will return true if we are able to save it. In case an error occurs, we will return false. So I think that should work. Shall we test it out? So 2 users, so clear. Nothing else to do. I'm not sure. Let's just check it out. So Python 3 server has started. Python 3 client. Okay. Line 51. This one. This is supposed to be a plus. So it's asking for a username. So I'm gonna say Christo. Name check is not defined. So what was it? Okay, it was check user, hence the error. So where it is, check user. So I guess I'll have to close it. Clear. We have to shut it down manually, so let's off 6450. The 3 functions, so I have to create 518 and 8568. No more function, clear it, run the server, program has started, client.py, Christo. Okay, it's saying false, but it's not printing it out. Okay, so there's an error. So send, okay, that's because in send message we are decoding the message, so we don't want this. Basically we are sending the message, and that server will only send the message back once, so we are already receiving the message over here. That's why and so there's no, we are not receiving anything over here, hence the error. So I'll just delete this part and everything should work properly. So close it. See, server has run, client.py, enter username, I'll say Christo again. User account with Christo was not found. Creating new account with the above username, so enter a new password. So I will say ABC1234. User account has been successfully added. Restart program, and if you see there's a Christo.pkl over here, so basically our user account has been added. Then we'll call the client again. So it's asking for a username, so it's asking for a password, so it's ABC1234. Okay, so log it into the server, send a message, press Ctrl+C, message was received in that place. As you can see, connection has established. We'll create one more user. Python 3 client.py, enter a username. I'll call it user123. User account was not found, so enter a password. I'll call it lol pass. So this time again user123 disconnected. So okay, that's because user123 was created, so hence it will say 123 was created. So user123 lol pass. So as you can see, user123 has joined server, user123 connection established, and now we can start sending messages. So I was asking for message, so hi. So Christo said hi. So if I want him to send, I'll say hello, nice to meet you. User123 has said hello, nice to meet you, and I'll ask his name. What is your name? And it's asked what is your name. Then I think we will remove the message received part because that's not necessary. Okay, so basically that's it. So we have created a username, user account, everything has been successfully done. I think now we'll have some fun with it. We don't want that message send part. Dun, dun. This part is not needed, I guess. Let's see if message. Or we will make this message received by the server. Okay, so that's done. So server part is done. So client.py, is there anything else to do? Okay, so when a user joins, it says successful restart program, create user. Okay, so I guess that's it. Or we can make this creating a new account. User account was question not found. Logged into the server. What is that? Okay, so I'll make it more fun part. So I'll say text message is equal to. I'll cut this part. And we'll say for text in text message print text and end is equal to flush is equal to true, and we will import time. Import time, and where it is. Okay, so here we'll say time dot sleep 0.04 seconds. Okay, now let's check it out. So here I'll say disconnect. So here, sorry. So equals to disconnected client py and this equal to space and py. So number of clients that are connected to. So I'll say Christo and the password 403. Wait, what was my password again? It's ABC123 1234. Logged into the server to send a message. Control C. Okay, we want that printed. Print /n. Here also. Print /n. Save it. This also I'll make it something like that. So here copy and I'll paste it here. Tab. So okay, red. So we want this part. And this will be our text. Okay, I want this part. And we'll copy this part. Close it. So this time I'll disconnect him. Message received, Christo connection established. Should have been Christo has joined the server. Let's now send a message. So I'll say disconnect, and we have username user123 lalpass logged into the server to send a message. Control C, message received. That's because we are sending user and password, so it's sending back message received. Anyway, so we'll say hi. It should have been joint server. Let's see, in connection established, it should have been joint server. Where it is, we will say joint server, has joined server. And I'll close this. I'll say disconnect, and UI and the username equals to ABC234, logged into server. To send a message, press Ctrl C, message received. And let's see our Abdul. We have Christo has joined server. So that's it. That's basically our program. So we were able to create a user, set up the user, see Christo.pkl, so123.pkl. Just a message, try to put server Christo.pkl and in a new folder. So let's create a new folder called server. So because we don't want that to be congested. Okay, so we want user also to be here. So basically the client.py in separate file, and I'll close this connection. cd servers. Okay, the port is already in use as 4-i 6450. Kill everything. So kill 9025 and 9082. So we have nothing. Start the server. That's weird. Address already in use. We'll quit the other parts. Address of psi 6450. Okay, it's not supposed to be that. Okay, now it's working. So basically it just took some time. That's all. Now we'll try connecting. So on the username, yes, works. So last try, we'll create a new user. So new user account was not found. Creating new account with the user. So new user again. I'll say password new user. Let's see if any error was there. No errors. New user. Logged into the server. Control C. Message received by the server. Message received by the server. Okay, so it works. And that's it. So I'll just upload this to my GitHub. So let's just do that. I'll add git init. Then let's create our GitHub repo. So that's it, guys. That's basically our server. Okay, there's one more thing, that is trying to send it from a different PC. So I'll do that. I'll just check my IP. So my IP, what is my IP address? It is 171.49.181.4. So in client.py, this is where we will just save it. Okay, right now this thing won't work because I'll close this connection and I'll try client, and it will try to connect to 171.49.181.4, but that won't happen because I'm not allowed port forwarding for that port. So I have to allow that. So for people who doesn't know how to do that, just follow the steps. 192.168.1. The password is same. For most people it will be admin or password, admin password, or non-admins, none. We don't want this. Application port forwarding. Now create port for 6450, 6450, 6450, 6450, and it will be my MacBook Air. Add. Now if I try connecting, so if I quit, okay, so now it works. So basically our client.py is now working. So this is how you connect from a different PC. I don't have a different laptop for checking it out, but this is how you basically do it. Now let's just go to GitHub and add it up. So for people who was just still here, thank you guys for watching. This is just basically adding my repo, so new repo. IRC using Python. A basic IRC application in terminal using Python and socket. So it's public. We don't want any of this. So we are creating a repo. Okay, that's done. Now we'll just do where it is. Git add, git commit, completed version, and I'll push git push. I'll just copy paste it. Why? Okay, it's asking for my password. That's done. So okay, so basically our file is uploaded to my Git repo. Now if you guys want, you can just go to my repo and clone it and try to use it, but I would suggest you guys building it on your own. You can use this as a reference, but building it on your own is better. So that's it guys, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, click on the subscribe button, click the like button since you enjoyed this video. Thank you guys for watching.